Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we've got another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Prestige class description for you. And today, coming at you from the Complete Divine, we've got ourselves the Hospitaller, or, and I believe it's actually pronounced the Hôpital, since I'm pretty sure it's a French word. But, when I looked it up, most of the pronunciation said Hospitaller. Feels wrong to me, though. Feel free to debate me in the comments. Anyways, we're going to be talking about what the Hospitaller or Hôpital is. I'll probably use the two words interchangeably a little bit. We're going to talk about what they are. We're going to talk about what you get as one. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about how you become one first. Then we're going to talk about what you get. And then finally, we're going to talk about how you'd go about using them as a build and how good they are. So let's get started. So first off, what are they? Basically what they are is they are a class that is all about protecting and serving those in their care. So basically they go around and they protect and serve. I'm using the same thing as like the police. They're definitely not, weirdly enough. So basically they go around and they try and protect and like help heal and administer to those that are in need, caravans and various others. So that's basically what they're gonna do. Yeah, weird that I compare them to the police. They are much more like an ambulance service. Much closer to the ambulance. I mean, they literally have hospital in their name. Like that's kind of that's not a coincidence. They're all about healing and protecting. So yeah, that's kind of their deal. That's their goal, is to heal those in need and protect those in need so that they don't need healing. But if people are injured after a battle, they're the ones who are going to be show up and help with that. They're also going to help protect during the battle. So it wouldn't. The book even points out that it wouldn't be uncommon for a band of these guys to get together to fight a dragon, and then stick around after to heal anyone who got injured in the battle. So yeah, that's kind of their deal. They're really big on that kind of stuff. Let's see. So that's really what they are. Let's talk about what it takes to become one. So any non-chaotic. So basically you can't be chaotic. You have to be lawful or neutral. Pretty wide open range of classes. That's 6 potential classes, alignments that you could be and still be this prestige class. Not too restrictive. Base attack bonus 5. Not too crazy. Skills, handle animal, and ride both 5 ranks. Feats, mounted combat, and ride by attack. All right. And be able to cast first level spells. Fairly straightforward, standard stuff. It does require you to be a mounted build, basically, since it does require a number of mounted skills and feats. So that's a little bit of a thing. Let's see. Skills, their skill lists could be better and only 2 plus int. So that's a slight issue. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure. Why am I talking skills? That's what you get. Anyway, so that is what it takes to become a hospital or hôpital. Let's talk about what you get. So I already talked about skills. 2 plus int, kind of okay skill list, not the best. They have a good base attack bonus. They got a good fort and will save, so that's pretty nice. They also have a D10 hit dice, I believe. So again, pretty solid in that regard. Let's just double check, make sure I didn't screw. Oh, D8 hit dice. I thought it was D10. Nope, only D8. So good thing I checked. So could be better on that, but not terrible. Let's see. They're also going to get weapon and armor proficiency. So they're going to get basically the same weapon and armor proficiency that a paladin would. So all martial weapons, all armor and shields. Not the same as a fighter, though, since they get tower shields. These guys will not. They're going to get lay on hands, same as a paladin. It'll stack if you got in using paladin, then it will stack. They get spells known. Basically, any divine class that they have will go up. It's at a 3/4 rate, but they don't get it at first level. So in their 10 level progression, they're only going to get 7. But it is a 3/4 progression. It's the same. Basically, their spellcasting progression would be the same as the base attack bonus progression of a cleric. Interestingly enough, bonus feats, they're going to get one of those every 4 levels, and they do get one at first level. So they'll get one at 1st, 5th, and 9th levels, which isn't bad. That's about half as fast as a fighter would. So pretty solid, and they do get it at start at first level, so not bad. They get remove disease up to twice a week. So that's not too bad in terms of what they get. We have a couple of extra requirements, though. They have a code of conduct, which is interesting. They have to take an oath of poverty, obedience, and defense of those in their care, which are all less restrictive than they sound. Poverty just means that they can't have excess. So they can still buy magical gear just the same as everyone else. The big difference is once they're done with their shopping, they need to give away whatever's left. They can't just like save money for later. No, they got to give that away. So, they get their big haul. They spend most of it on gear, improving themselves for the next fight, and all that stuff. And then they give the rest away either to those in need or to their order. But so they're going to be a little undergeared, but not too terribly bad. It really just sort of depends. But yeah, they're not going to let any money they're not going to have any wealth that just sits around doing nothing. All of their wealth is going to go towards either improving themselves or improving somebody. They don't sit on money ever. Let's see. Obedience, basically, that just means that they have to. They generally would just have to obey whoever is the higher ranking member of their order, which is very it's ebb and flowing. It kind of depends on the situation a lot. If they're in a town, then they defer to the leader of the town. So they have to kind of follow that. Nothing too crazy. In all reality, like, you just kind of be reasonable, follow the rules. Yeah, nothing really that hard. And finally, the defense of those in their care. They have to be willing to lay down their lives if necessary for those who are in their care. But I say if necessary because if necessary is really the crux of it. If it's not actually necessary to lay down their life, if they can defend the people in their care just fine without having to sacrifice themselves, yeah, they're going to do that. If you die saving someone, that's great and all. You did a great deed. But that's the last good deed you're ever going to do. You're not going to protect anyone else after that because you're dead. But if you live and those in your care also live, guess what? You can protect more people later. So it's better to survive. And these guys know it. They will. They're going to try and survive. They're not going to be reckless. They're not going to throw away their lives hastily. They're going to protect themselves too. It's just if it comes down to it, and really they are left with a choice of either save themselves or save those in need, they're going to save those in need every time. But if it doesn't come down to that choice, if that moment doesn't come where it's like I have to make the choice on whether I survive or they survive. If that choice never is presented to them that clearly, they're going to survive. Like, they're going to make sure that everybody survives if possible, including themselves. So their code of conduct's pretty loose. They also have a multi-class note for paladins, allowing you to freely multi-class with paladin. So if you were paladin getting in, and then you took this, you can continue advancing as a paladin. So that's nice. Now there's a whole section on ex-hospitalers or hôpitaliers. So basically, if you have so if you become a chaotic alignment, or if you make a gross violation, it does say gross violation, so you can violate the code a little bit, but don't do it a lot. Like, it has to be something big, significant. Like, if you kind of overstep it a little bit, you're probably fine. But If you're really violating it in a major way, then that's a problem. You'll have to atone just like with the atonement spell and all that, and you can't advance until you do that. Fairly simple, straightforward stuff. In addition, you can't multiclass. They have the same multiclass restriction as that of a Paladin. If you take class levels in anything other than Hospitaller or OPTLA, as I believe it's pronounced, feel free to debate that in the comments. Anyways, that or Paladin, then you are not able to continue advancing. So you can freely multiclass between this and Paladin as much as you like, but you cannot take classes in any other levels in any other classes besides those two if you want to continue advancing. So that is a little bit of a restriction, a little bit of a DM call whether you would include other prestige classes that have multi-class notes for paladins in them. If that would also work for this, hard to say. That's a DM call. But that's what you get as Hospitaller or Obitele. Let's talk about how good they are. Well, if you go the main intended route of Paladin, not the greatest. They have a lower hit dice. You're going to get bonus feats, which is kind of cool. But the potency of your smite is not going to advance, which is a little bit of an issue. And your casting for Paladin isn't going to advance at the full rate. So that's kind of problematic. The remove disease isn't great. You only get it up to twice a week. So not exactly a solid option for a Paladin. Plus it's a little feat intensive and it really requires a lot of like writing feats. Now, if you were doing this a little bit of a different route, if you decided to have something like a Cavalier build, where you were playing a Cavalier as your main prestige class, and you just wanted to add some divine casting onto that, this is actually a pretty good way to do that. Drop a level of Cleric or Druid, and then just take some levels of Hospitaller or Opitele, however you just want to say it, and then you can just prestige class into this and gain a decent amount of divine casting with that, so that you have some casting and some reasonably potent casting as well, without having to sacrifice much in terms of base attack bonus. A little, since you are going to have to lose one, gaining that first class level in whatever class you took. But there's really not ways around it, because I mean, this is just advancing the class level of that, so you probably are going to need to lose that class level. Oh, not the class level, that base attack, but losing one base attack isn't the end of the world, especially in order to gain a decent amount of spell casting. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty solid way to do it. That'd probably be the most optimal way to use that, is to throw it on like a Cavalier type build, because you already have all the skills and feats that are required to get into that. You just needed to take one level of Cleric or Druid to get in, and then to also throw your levels, your spellcasting advancement levels onto to make it decent. And you get some bonus feats along the way with that too, which is very nice on a build like that. So yeah, pretty solid way to do that, I'd say. Maybe even do this beforehand, since this can be entered a lot earlier than Cavalier can. I think Cavalier requires like high level to get in. But anyways, yeah, that is the Hospitaller or Opitele. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and feel free to debate proper pronunciation. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel, because I do one of these on every single class, race, and prestige class in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, so ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. Anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you